Unleash your darkest fears with 10 hidden horror movies and series now streaming on Netflix. From blood-curdling scares to twisted tales that crawl through the night, these brutal pics will haunt your dreams. Lock the doors and get ready for Halloween. Number 10, The Unholy.
It's the work of the unholy. Faith in evil empowers you.
In a quiet Massachusetts town, young Alice Paget, once deaf and mute, suddenly gains the ability to speak and heal after a supposed encounter with the Virgin Mary beneath a gnarled old tree. As word spreads, the faithful flock to witness her miracles, and the church hurries to legitimize her divine gift. But skeptical journalist Jerry Fenn begins digging and discovers that Alice's powers may not come from heaven, but from something ancient, vengeful, and unholy. As statues weep blood and visions turn grotesque, belief curdles into fear and salvation begins to look like a curse. Whispers grow louder and Alice herself starts to slip under the influence of something she can no longer understand. Directed by Evan Spiliotopoulos, The Unholy is a sinister tale of false faith and the evil that feeds on devotion. Number 9, Bloodride.
We'll let it do
Time for Stan.
On a stormy night, 6 strangers board a spectral bus drifting through the darkness. Then one by one, they depart into horrors uniquely their own. Each episode of Bloodride follows a passenger who becomes the protagonist of a chilling tale. Greed births sacrificial cults, writers vanish into their fiction, children are haunted by lineage, and office parties twist into ritualistic chaos. The bus is more than a frame. It's a purgatorial vessel guiding souls toward their fates. With tight 25 to 30-minute runtimes, stories build swiftly from mundane tension to corrosive terror, merging folklore, moral dread, and surreal pathos. Anthology meets nightmare road trip. Every ride feels like a descent into human weakness masked by supernatural dread. Number 8, Kadaver.
Alice? Har du sett en liten jente?
In a bleak post-nuclear Norway, survivors Leonora, her husband Jacob, and their daughter Alice are starving and desperate. When a wealthy stranger named Matthias invites survivors to a grand dinner and theatrical experience at his still powerful hotel, the offer seems like salvation, but soon the illusion shatters. Masked guests roam opulent corridors filled with staged vignettes, only to disappear one by one into hidden trapdoors and secret tunnels. As Leonora delves deeper into Matthias's twisted spectacle, lines between performance and slaughter blur, and she realizes the true cost of their salvation is far more gruesome than any famine. Number 7, Slasher.
Lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, they all come together.
Across 5 chilling seasons, Slasher presents anthology tales of masked killers, gruesome secrets, and survival by the skin of your teeth. In each arc, a group of people, whether returning to hometowns, reuniting at former camps, or trapped in apartment buildings, become entwined with a sadistic murderer whose identity is hidden behind ritual vengeance or twisted morality. The rules change every season. In one, a killer channels the 7 deadly sins. In another, a druid stalks residents of an inland apartment block. What ties them together is the relentless question: who will live, who will die, and who will become the monster? Secrets, betrayal, and blood bind the victims more than the killer does. Slasher is anthology terror that takes the slasher mythos into darker, more personal territory. Number 6, a classic horror story.
Something's up with her.
Five strangers share a carpool through the remote roads of southern Italy, bound for different fates. When Mark, drunk, crashes the RV to avoid hitting a goat's corpse, they wake to find themselves far off course, deep in a forest, before a lonely wooden house with no road in or out. Strange symbols, eerie puppets, and masked figures stalk the shadows. As they explore, Elisa uncovers awful truths. They're trapped inside a snuff film, orchestrated by a director whose ambitions bleed into real terror. Every step becomes a trap, every revelation a torture. Merging folk horror, found footage, and cult myth, this film twists the genre into a warped mirror of itself. Number 5, Chucky.
Creepy doll just creeps me the hell out.
Me too.
Hi, I'm Chucky.
When a vintage good guy doll suddenly appears in Hackensack at a suburban yard sale, 14-year-old Jake Wheeler sees only a quirky prop for his latest art project. But that innocuous toy is haunted by the soul of serial killer Charles Lee Ray. As unexplained killings rock the town, Jake must wrestle with suspicion, guilt, and the malevolent force he's awakened. Meanwhile, Chucky resurrects old vendettas from his murderous past, dragging new victims into a web of betrayal, identity, and vengeance. The series stretches the mythology. Teenage fears, queerness, grief, and possession all bleed into one gruesome tapestry. With each episode, Chucky's terror becomes more personal, more contagious, and harder to escape. Directed by Don Mancini, Chucky is a relentless slasher saga reborn in horror's modern age. Number 4, Death Whisperer 2. Following the tragic events of the first film, Yak has become a relentless hunter of restless spirits, haunted by guilt, grief, and a mysterious cult unleashing forces from beyond the grave. When his sister Yad is drawn into a ghostly vortex tied to an ancient witch and supernatural relics, Yak must descend into forests haunted by shape-shifting monsters, malevolent spirits, and cursed bloodlines. The boundaries between life and death blur as allegiances shift, and Yak's own mind becomes a battleground. Carnage and ritual collide, and every whispered secret leads to a deeper horror. Death Whisperer 2 is a relentless odyssey through spectral vengeance and haunted legacies. Number 3, Archive 81.
There's something in this place that calls to you.
Dan Turner, a troubled archivist still haunted by a past fire, is hired to restore a trove of deteriorated videotapes recovered from a 1994 apartment building blaze. As he pieces together the footage, he becomes obsessed with Melody Pendris, the filmmaker who made those tapes while investigating the sinister goings-on at the Visser. Parallel to Dan's present-day mission, Melody's own timeline unspools in the 90s, revealing cult rituals, forbidden pacts, and a world bleeding between dimensions. Every tape Dan resurrects drags him deeper into a cosmic conspiracy, one tied to his own life and to an otherworldly entity called Caligo. The show's dual timelines fuse like mirror worlds, and what starts as restoration becomes survival. Number 2, Dead Talent Society.
金鬼奖最佳女鬼奖，得奖的是。
In the afterlife, ghosts must compete to be seen, and thus survive. A newly deceased shy young woman, known simply as the Rookie, awakens in a spectral realm where her existence depends on terrifying the living and building a reputation. But her token of memory, a piano competition certificate that anchors her to this world, has been destroyed, triggering a 30-day countdown to oblivion. With the help of a washed-up haunting diva, an agent, and ghostly allies, she enters the ruthless world of spook agencies and urban legend contests. As rival spirits sabotage and betray, she struggles to find a voice powerful enough to resonate beyond death. With humor, pathos, and bizarre specters, the film reimagines the afterlife as a fierce entertainment market. Number 1, Kingdom. In Joseon-era Korea, Crown Prince Lee Chang is thrust into a perilous web of intrigue when his father, the king, falls gravely ill. But rumors say his sickness hides something far worse. As Chang investigates, he uncovers a mysterious plague twisting the dead into ravenous monsters. The undead rise as the court's darkest ambitions clash. Nobles vie for power, conspiracies fester, and the very kingdom teeters on collapse. Chang must balance statecraft and survival, navigating treacherous alliances while fighting off relentless hordes that obey no crown. Blending political maneuvering with visceral, unrelenting horror, the series treats the zombie apocalypse as a battleground for both bodies and thrones. Here are 4 other movies and series you have to see. Midnight Mass.
It's okay to just look at the world and say, why? I don't understand.
A remote island community is forever changed when a mysterious priest arrives, bringing with him miracles that border on the unnatural. As faith and fear begin to intertwine, the townspeople must face the price of divine intervention. Secrets rise from the shadows, revealing a darkness older than belief itself. Fear Street Part 1, 1994.
We're together for one night and dead people are trying to kill us.
Maybe we are doomed.
Teenagers in the cursed town of Shadyside uncover a terrifying legacy tied to a centuries-old witch who has turned generations into killers. As they battle to survive, they realize the past is bleeding into the present with deadly force. Their only chance lies in confronting the origin of the curse before it devours them all. Devilman. Crybaby.
弱さは死を意味し、強い者だけが生き残る。
Akira, a gentle teen, fuses with a demon to fight rising demonic forces threatening humanity. But the transformation awakens something far more savage within him. As the world crumbles into chaos, he becomes a tragic weapon in a war between angels and devils. The battle for humanity's soul becomes intensely personal and devastatingly cruel. Death Whisperer. In 1970s Thailand, a quiet village is shaken when a young girl is possessed by a malevolent spirit tied to ancient folklore. As bodies begin to fall and rituals fail, her brother must uncover the source of the haunting before it destroys their family. Terrifying visions and relentless evil spiral into a nightmare beyond belief.